This is where the fun begins.
Are you sure? So be it. Did you miss me?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to CAF CHAT, our Thursday morning time to sit down and talk George Lucas era of Star Wars, Cringe Factor, Book of the Week. In fact, I forgot to prep that. I forgot to put them up where I can get them ready. So as I talk here with you, I'm going to do that, and then I will say hello to everyone in the chat. Yes, so good morning. How are you guys doing? Yes, I thought I had that all set up. Shit happens. I was setting other things up. So again, good morning, and hit that like button, you guys. Hit the like button, share the stream out, let everyone know we're here, we're live, and hello to everybody on Rumble. Yes, I am now back on Rumble. It was set to be on Rumble, and then when all of that was taken away for whatever reason, that stopped, cross-linking. And so that ended there. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. I'm trying to click and talk at the same time. It's like patting and rubbing your belly sometimes, but hey. And yeah, so catch me on Rumble over there. And those who are on Rumble, good morning to you. Those catching the replay, thank you so much for tuning in and catching the replay. I appreciate you entirely. So let's see here. Let's see who's in the chat. So I got that all set up. It's quick and easy. It's quick and easy. So I have the antagonist here, my mod who wants to get fired and also is proven he is a Disney shill. Y'all want me annoy OG? Happy 10th anniversary to The Force Awakens. And so you know what? I think, let me see, do I still have it on here? Oh my goodness. Oh, here. No, that's not it. Where is it? Here.
You rebel scum.
So there you go. There you go. And then we have Conrado here. They should give Star Wars a break. They meaning Disney. And Batsy is here. Hi, OG and chat. How are you doing? I'm doing great. I am using my twin son's mug and I am sipping on my coffee, which is almost done. I'm going to have to play a clip and go get me some more coffee here pretty soon. So we will have a refresher and refreshments break here pretty soon so I can pour some more coffee. I was prepping a lot of things. Again, I forgot to put my book of the week and my Lucas Facts clip up. So that's the one thing I missed out on. But hey, it's a busy, productive morning. Shit happens. All right. And then Soul Assassin says, miserable Batsy found out I got family flying in and some miserable. Oh, you guys are talking to each other. So you have family flying in and some are staying at your place. Is it for the holiday season? It's 11:04. Do you know where OG is? I say my streams, my lives go live at 9 or on the top of the hour. However, I give a 5-minute gracious time. So my stream set for 9:05, even though I say 9 o'clock, because I do end up prepping last minute. And so I just give myself some grace time there. And you guys hang out in the chat and wonder when I'm going to show up. So that's the method to my madness. Button the like is a little bit of Yoda talk here. And then we have Derek Lopez, how are you doing? You know, I need to go and check on Rumble side here. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up on my phone on my end. I really just need to get my computer screen up and have two screens at the same time. So I only have one person on Rumble. Thank you so much. It's probably Bane, our purist. So everybody seems to like YouTube. However, I think Rumble is more promising for creators, content creators, and more forgiving, I guess you could say. More forgiving. And let me see here. Hello there. User name not name on YouTube. Okay. Hello. How are you doing? Hello. How are you doing? Welcome. And let's see here. Yes. Don't be a Rumbleist. All the straights are over here. Yes, Rumble. And thank you, Star Wars Marvel purist, so much. He's hanging out there by himself. Some people go over there and hang out with him. I know. It's like I said. I have Rumble back up and functioning again. I had no idea that they stopped, having that cross-link stream and that you have to set it up manually yourself now. So they stopped that. And then once Purist went over there, started encouraging us to do Rumble as well. And I thought, well, hell, I might as well reset everything back up and stream there as well as I do it on Twitter. So why not? Why not cross stream over to two other platforms? And Twitter is my channel's social media platform, basically. So, and then Rumble is another opportunity there. And make sure when citing sources, you reference the EU Encyclopedia Puristica. Yes, we're going to get to that. We are going to get that to that Star Wars Marvel Purist. I left you a message, but I am using that clip that you shared with us in the Gatekeepers Alliance private chat. So AOT says, I got the 1997 paperback of Truth at Bakura half-price book while doing my Christmas shopping on Tuesday. Well, congratulations and Merry Christmas to you. That's amazing. That is the book I started out with when I fully got into the EU. I didn't go straight to Thrawn trilogy. I didn't. And you know what? I don't regret it either. I don't. And many of you guys know that I think that the Thrawn trilogy is overrated. It's great. It helps set up, give focus to Lucasfilm on what the fans want when it comes to the EU and stuff. It created a renaissance for the EU, I guess you could say. But overall, I think the story is overrated. I like the duology better. All right, so let's see here. Maybe Disney should convince Paramount to buy them. Paramount? No. Yeah, and I don't think any platforms, major corporate platforms, can handle Star Wars like it should be. It's it's sad or ironic or what have you that George didn't care for the corporates of Hollywood and then he ends up selling to a corporate that has control of Hollywood in a sense. Well, I wouldn't say the sense, they do. And this is where we're at. It's soulless now. It's soulless. And I stick to that point. And the mythology that George created is no longer a part of that heart. He's no longer part of the heart. And it is sorely seen and sorely missed. And that's why we are here under my channel, George Lucas Era of Star Wars, talking George Lucas Era of Star Wars, keeping it alive, going to the source, going to the hearts. Yeah. And when you have the person who's the creator, the heart, the soul of it, mentoring and guiding creatives who's brought in to write, create games, what have you, you still have the heart. I don't think people realize that. You still have the heart. You still have the pulse. You still have the structure. You still have the mythos. And That's not there anymore. And no one can replace that. Not even Filoni. Not even Filoni. And as much as people want to put that bastard on a pedestal, no, you can't. He is not. And it's like me saying Lucino, because not Lucino, Stover, for example, because he met with him and sat down with George and they, went through everything for the movie novelization of Revenge of the Sith and stuff, that he is now George's apprentice. No. And you can say that with Tartakovsky in a sense too. And not that I'm putting those guys down. I just know better. And it's more intense. Who had the better intentions for George? And I wouldn't put Filoni in that box. Uh-oh. I'm gonna piss off the Filoni faithfuls here. Holy shit, no. I wouldn't put him in the box. I would not put him in as a contender for that. And here I am on a Filoni rant. Hello, good morning, you guys. I wouldn't call it a rant. I would say this is just an observation. Knowledge collected over the years from watching this guy who has lied and cheated towards George Lucas. Now, if you want to say apprentice, if you want to go, but then again, I'm giving too much credit. It's almost like how Sith apprentices act towards their master, right? But then I'm giving too much credit where it's not due. Who knows? You guys tell me. Now with like Stover, yeah, you could say he had George's interest because he did meet with him. And yeah, Filoni worked with George too. I'm not fucking denying that. So those out there who are the Filoni faithfuls, calm your tits. Calm your tits. Oh goodness, good morning. I hope you guys are enjoying your drink. And that's like 9, like a little past like 9:18 a.m. here. I'm sipping on my coffee. Not going off like this. Holy shit. But yeah, he worked side by side with them and made sure that he delivered what George wanted. No lies, no deceptions, purely just going in to have published what George wanted. There's a huge difference between that and someone who can say, oh, well, I never showed George this and this and this, or George is in the Ahsoka die camp. Well, I'm not in that. Basically, I'm paraphrasing, And, so there's so many things now we can point out to how deceptive this so-called apprentice of George Lucas. So anyways, good morning, everyone. How are you guys doing? We have a lot to go on to talk about with the show here. We are going to get into some new Jedi Order lore talking about the Yuuzhan Vong in Enemy's Lines, book 1 still. We're still kind of in book 1, going into book 2, for the duology. And so we're going to get to that because I've been keep on saying we're going to talk about the Vong during that time in that time frame, and we haven't done it yet. So we are going to do that today. And then we're going to go back into the hope of Star Wars. I did share that clip. If you were here for my Saturday live stream, that was the main topic. We're going to get into that. There's a few things we're going to talk about with that. We're going to get into Lucas book or Lucas Facts and book of the week here pretty quick. And then we're going to get into our cringe factor. And it goes back to the hope topic that I've talked about on Saturday. And so stay tuned for that. Let me see here. Hello there. Yes, I shared that. He is on Rumble chatting away over there by his lonesome. Actually, I have 4 now over there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on that side. I'm not worried too much about, I'm not even worried about YouTube. I'm not worried. I wouldn't even say too much. I'm not worried. I want to have you guys start migrating over there as well. Support over there. What is Rumble like? It is just like YouTube. You could chat, you can send what you call super chats or something like that, you can, send out members to people who are on tuning in on that side. So it's the same type of platform, but it's more geared towards the creator. It's more lenient with what the creator shares. The restrictions are not like YouTube. The algorithm and the BS is not, or the algorithm and stuff that YouTube has is not similar. So it's very creative friendly. And there's clips I'll play here that I'll get copyright strikes for here, or it'll demonetize the live or whatever, wherever I show video or live, but over there it doesn't. And so there's a huge difference. People read. Oh my goodness. The only things McFrozen Nuggets loves more than his Jenny doll is Ray. And we're talking about him now. Okay. Oh man, I haven't talked about that fool in a long time, except because I can care less about that idiot. I can. Greetings there, Calcite. How are you doing? And I have Holy Shitful over there on Rumble. Thank you so much for tuning in over there. And when you comment in there, I could still see you on my StreamYard's end. So it's not like I can't see you whatsoever. It's not like I can see you whatsoever. Soulless, that's some kind of personal attack. Well, if you go to the Sith side, I would say in a way you are soulless. I don't know. You can decide what that is about, mister. You come in here saying, let's go ahead and trigger OG Star Wars by giving a happy 10th anniversary to The Force Awakens. I think it's well deserved. Without George's involvement, Star Wars has no soul, correct? And you know exactly what I was talking about when I said soulless. By next Christmas, I'll be doing a Star Wars Christmas tree. I'll be using a 3-inch action figure and turn them into ornaments. I will not be using the Disney Star Wars, any Disney. Hey, I would absolutely love to see pictures of that. Please share. All right. I think I got everybody. I'm going to scroll down to, Matthew is here. Hello. And Diddley Squat is here. Yo, what's up? Casey Hudson has years of failure, unfortunately, beginning with the end of Mass Effect 3. His name is not the gold people think it is. I agree. I've been researching that because I haven't been into Mass Effects at all. So I don't know the story behind that. But now that I'm researching and looking into it, I do know. He's even had a studio fail from lack of funding. Yeah. Yes, and there we go. And people think it is something. And let's see here. I know this is over there on Rumble. You can say herdy words here. Yes, I can say herdy words over there and not get in any trouble. Ryto's Trap, 8 out of 10. Okay, good. That's a fun one. I'm glad it's fun watching. Hold on, Keith. It's fun watching or seeing, those reading a series for the first time and talking about that. And I think this is your first time reading through the X-Wing series, right? Let's see here. All right. I'm gonna go down here. Yes, it's referencing Ridley Scott when it is the last good movie Ridley Scott has made. Okay. Okay, kitty, you need to go. The cat is like rubbing up all on the screen and stuff. Go. There we go. Not my cat, but nonetheless, I think they're all Sith. I think that Toby has his Legion of Sith going on here. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our little segues, little segments here, and we'll do Book of the Week first. story.
You're searching for doesn't exist.
Impossible. Perhaps the archives are incomplete.
If an item does not appear in our records, it does not exist.
It does not exist. So let's go ahead and get into there. Let me see. Oh, here it is. All right. So book of the week. Here we go. And hopefully you guys could still hear me. I should still be on the screen here because, like I said, I didn't have it set up. There we go. I can see my little figure on the side there. So, Fate of the Jedi, Star Wars, Fate of the Jedi. If you haven't known, there has been post New Jedi Order BS talk happening on Twitter. So if you're on Twitter, hello. How are you guys doing, you Denning bastards? You're Denningverse bastards, more like that. Not Denning bastards, but you know what I meant. So I decided to do what would be I wouldn't say the first book that came out for the series, but this is a short story. And it is called Imprints. It's by Christy Golden. And the cover artist is Ian Kelty. It was published as a short story in the official Star Wars fan club, so that was given away for the fan club, but it's also paperback as well, and published July 2009. And the timeline is like 37 ABY. So we get a glimpse after, like kind of in, I wouldn't say in between, but this is a short story that sets up the Lost Tribe of the Sith. So continuity notes, The Lost Tribe of the Sith was developed for the Fate of the Jedi series and was the focus of the ebook novella series by John Jackson Miller, set in 5000 BBY. This short story includes a small booklet in the official Star Wars fan club kit for 2009. Is the first story to focus on the Lost Tribe in the modern era. It was written as a prelude to Omen, and the second Fate of the Jedi book, and first of the novel in the series to feature an older Vistara Kai. So there you go. So Imprint. So I didn't look to see where you can find it and purchase it. So I apologize for that. But this is book of the week. And we all know, if you're familiar, I'm pretty sure many of you guys, even if you haven't read through the series yet, you're familiar that she is basically Ben Skywalker's crush, our first love, whatever you want to do. And she betrayed the Skywalker family immensely, by plotting to kill Alana Solo and leading the Sith, her people, on that mission on Coruscant, and basically ambushing the Solos in a hangar. I think it's in the hangar. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've been back and read that. And there's a lot of deceit that she was doing and happening. And even Luke Skywalker had deciphered their language through C-3PO. And she was talking to her father about how that she was going to seduce Ben because he would be a good asset to the Lost Tribe if he was turned Sith, and as long as he remains Sith, then that's good. But once he starts turning, kill him and stuff like that. So there's a lot of background with that. And I highly recommend this right here. Let's see here. Lost Tribe of the Sith is the only Legends banner book I own because it's only available as Legends. Yeah. Actually, Lost Tribe of the Sith, yeah. Lost Tribes, yeah. Like even with the Kenobi novel, if you didn't, they're the only ones that you can get under the Kenobi novel that has no legend label is the hardcover. However, that is now hard to get. No pun intended. But if you get the paperback, it has the Legends label on it. So let's see here. And there is Japanese cover of Fate of the Jedi books. I don't think so. I don't know. I haven't really looked into that. Hey, Melissa Lorda, channel members in the house. What's up? How are you doing? Good morning to you from Cali, from the West Coast. Press 1 if you want OG to do a bookstore video. A bookstore video, like go to the bookstore and share the Star Wars section. Is that what you are talking about? Hee. Let's see here. Imprint is available and digitally on Joe Bonjour. Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right. He has all the short stories there, right? Nazo? I think so. I did share the website last night, I believe. Yeah, so I will put it down in the description below after this stream for those who want. I keep forgetting that he does. There's a website where there's all the short stories you can pull off as PDF, I believe. All right. So, book of the week here, Fate of the Jedi Imprint, the Star Archive. Now, before we move on to the next one, to Lucas Facts, I want to get, and I want to create a discussion with this, but I want to kind of wait till we move towards Fate of the Jedi. If I decide to take that over there, or take it further from New Jedi Order, Dark Nest into Legacy era, because guess what? Dark Nest trilogy is the ending of the New Jedi Order timeline. Many people don't know that, and Denning-verse people hate that shit. Or should we say Austin-verse? Right, Pierce? Austin-verse. Those poor bastards. Man. It's so funny. And, while I'm on that subject, like on Twitter, some of them were melting down. I think that Amara, or whatever that user handle person bot name is on Twitter, was like, oh yeah, and only under Denning-verse is when they when Skywalker's Jedi start using Force lightning and just saying how bad it is and stuff, not realizing that like Jaina used Force lightning in New Jedi Order, and there's other instances of others using it in New Jedi Order. So I think that these people are talking out of their fucking asses. That's all I can say about that. But anyways, let's go ahead and start getting into our Lucas Facts. And then I'm going to play a video clip, and I'm going to pour me some coffee because I'm almost done here. Let's see here. Well, OG, I figured the chat would like to see you go visit a bookshop and see all the Star Wars books there and how many are Disney are taking us. You know what? I was up at Barnes & Noble's in the nearest city where I live at that week and a half ago. And I shit you not. Star Wars aisle, the Star Wars section used to be like 4 or 5 rows of books, and a lot were basically what is labeled Legends now, are the original Star Wars. And now it's barely almost like 3 rows. I shit you not. It's fucking bad. It is bad. Yeah. Force lightning and dark side power typically learn when you touched in the dark. Yeah, exactly. And then you have the electric judgment. And yeah, so it's crazy. It's the narrative of these Austin-verse people. The Denning-verse bastards, poor things. That's what they'll say, is like, oh, well, it was never done this way in New Jedi Order, and Denning just screwed up everything, but it's fucking stupid. And what you could do is take what they're saying and go back and pull up an incident in New Jedi Order and counter their fucking bullshit. That's it. But anyways, let's get into a Lucas Facts here. Let me find the clip.
That's great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
All right. So with Lucas Facts, we have here, and I love finding quotes that are not commonly shared and that hit, his creativity on the head, basically. So this is what he had to say. And this is from the cinematic cinematic phenomenon, and Academy of Achievement .org on June 19th, 1999. So basically, this is like when, right before the Phantom Menace is coming out, as the Phantom Menace is coming out. You have to find something that you love enough to be able to take risks, jump over the hurdles, and break through the brick wall that you're always going to be placed in front of. That's always going to be placed in front of you. If you don't have that kind of feeling for what it is you're doing, you'll stop at the first giant hurdle. And that's George Lucas. And that's talking about his creativity and basically his storytelling and all that, and even Hollywood. So there's a lot going on in this topic here. And he says, rightfully so, this is what he has to say. And I think it's brilliant. Let me see here. Denning doesn't do anything Kevin J. Anderson hasn't done. One of the original lore establishers. I had to tell that to them. No, but you know what? Going back to what you said, Nazo, then they started turning on Kevin J. Anderson, basically saying, just because he did a couple of books, good books, like, helped with the Young Jedi Knights or what have you, doesn't mean he's off the hook. Like, so they're trying to put him in the same corner with Denning to solidify Denning, if that makes sense, or it probably doesn't, but it is what it is. Go on. All right. So, but back to this. George stepped away from Hollywood because, and that was one of the biggest hurdles. So, one of the biggest hurdles was asking, asking for money from, who did he ask money from? Fox. There we go. Asking money and then paying them back so that he has no debt and they don't have control. So that's one of his hurdles, and another hurdle was going off by himself and striving to make the money so that he can have his films out there in the theaters, his dreams, his all of that, and also building the Lucas film and, even like ILM, Skywalker Sound. So just imagine all those hurdles he went through over. More so to, like, even when he was so stressed, he thought he was having a heart attack. During Empire Strikes Back, I believe that was when that was going on. So just imagine that. And Matthew, we are going to get to that. Ahsoka season 2 being delayed like the Rey movie is hilarious. Neither is on the 2026 schedule. Yeah, we're going to get into that. That's a cringe factor thing. All right. So with this being said, I'm going to go ahead and play a video and our little video here. And I am going to pour myself some more coffee because this is what I need.
CAF. Lots of it. For me and for the Ready Room. I have a feeling this mission is not one we can fly in our sleep.
All right. So now's your chance to go to the refresher or refresh your coffee or your drink, get a snack. And I am going to do the same.
That's great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
That's going to be great.
Wrong one. Where did it go? Here it is.
Someone asked me to give the best reason why someone should read the expanded universe. After giving it a lot of thought, here's what I have to say. The expanded universe respects the reader. In the expanded universe, Luke Skywalker's optimism continues where it left off in Return of the Jedi. He's fulfilled hope to the galaxy, just like Obi-Wan said he would, not like the Disney movies where he gave up on the Jedi or even the whole galaxy for that matter. The character you see in those movies is not Luke. Luke isn't a quitter. He's not a pessimist. He's a leader. He's inspirational. And he's always there, for his friends in times of need. Another character is Han Solo. He's introduced to us in A New Hope as a loner, a man who cares only for himself and nobody else. But by the end of Return of the Jedi, that all turns around when he finally finds friends he can trust and a true love to spend the rest of his life with. And that's exactly what he does in the expanded universe. Han is a devoted husband and father to Leia and their kids. He loves his family above all else. In the new movies, Han turns out to be a selfish deadbeat dad who ran out on his family when things get tough. It's a complete 180 from the character that we saw from Return of the Jedi. Now, another thing the EU does is it rewards its readers. Attention to detail when it comes to continuity has never been done at such a level as when it was performed by the expanded universe. Avid readers will constantly be rewarded for their diligence as comics, novels, video games, and even children's books share connections throughout the entire series, making it almost a flawless, continuous story. And though it has its minor flaws, it's still the best overall story and continuity out there, period. That's what the EU does. It respects and rewards its readers. And that's the best reason you should give it a try. Long live the expanded universe.
All right, got my steaming hot mug of CAF, and we're ready to continue. However, I just realized that I know we have some gatekeepers in the house, at least one, and so I would love to shout out Purist and anyone of the gatekeepers that may be in the background listening.
Because there's a fucking gatekeeper. There's a fucking gatekeeper.
All right, so we're going to get into some lore talk. However, I want to play something. I think we're going to go over 2 hours here because there's a lot that I have prepped to cover here. And, but hey, it's one of those days. We're going to do it. We're going to probably go over 2 hours, just letting you guys know. So here we go. But I wanted to play this here. Let me go ahead. And it was shared to me by Soul Assassin. So how many of you guys read Darth Plagueis' novel? Probably a lot of you guys. You know, that's one of the most common books read by the fans. And so I wanted to share this with you because it is AI generated. However, it looks pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of AI in a sense, but it does have some purposes as well. So I will begrudgingly say that. So I'm going to go ahead and share this. And let's go ahead and check this out.
Plagueis sat tall in the chair, in genuine astonishment. He could see Palpatine now in all his dark glory. Anger and murder had pulled down the walls he had raised, perhaps since infancy, to safeguard his secret. But there was no concealing it now. The Force was powerful in him. Bottled up for 17 standard years, his innate power had finally burst forth and could never again be stopped. All the years of repression, guiltless crimes, raw emotion bubbling forth, toxic to any who dared touch or taste it. But beneath his anger lurked a subtle enemy: apprehension. Newly reborn, he was at great risk, but only because he didn't realize just how powerful he was, or how extraordinarily powerful he could become. He would need help to complete his self-destruction. He would need help rebuilding those walls to keep from being discovered. Oh, what a cautious taming he would require.
All right. So I thought I'd share that. Thank you so much, Soul Assassin, for sharing this, as now we get into our New Jedi Order lore talk, talking about the Yuuzhan Vong. So with that being said, I'm going to play this clip here.
I had fought the worst of all wars and witnessed the redemption of evil. I have seen balance restored to the Force. But order can turn to chaos, as it did when I was born. Now, with my loved ones and my loyal allies, I face a new challenge unlike any before. And I'm not sure if this time we can win.
Star Wars Vector Prime by R.A. Salvatore, the first novel of the new Jedi Order.
All right, so Enemy Lines, book 1 and 2, Rebel Dream, and shit, what's the other one's name? I don't have it in front of me. I tend to forget. I know 1 and 2, Enemy Line 1 and 2, and by Ellen Austin, the Ellen verse. Oh, or Austin verse, Ellen. Austin or Aaron. I say Ellen. I don't know why I always say Ellen, just like Conrado, I say Coronado. It's just me renaming people. So Aaron Austin verse, the Austin verse, baby. The Austin verse, baby. And I've always been impressed with his writing. He's always good at, the fight scenes, all of that, getting characters correct, also adding humor in where it doesn't seem cheesy, kind of like you've seen in The Force Awakens kind of humor, where it's all cheesy and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Yes, I know. So Assassin is celebrating the 10-year anniversary. We have found the shill in the group. He's infiltrating all of these channels, and he's a disguised shill. Yes, I love how we start right off at Borleas, correct, purist? Yes, Rebel Stand. I was like, Rebel Dream and Rebel Stand. I was like, I know it's Rebel something, the second one. It's both Rebel Dream or, whatever. So there we go. But yeah, so getting into Sovereign Law, who responds to the New Republic's occupation of Borleas. He sends a large war fleet under, I think it's Waipuk Cha. I've always, some of these Vong and some of these Star Wars names, like these character names, sometimes, you don't know how to pronounce them until you listen to the official audio of them. And to retake the group. So basically, like I said before, what's left of the New Republic Council basically is setting up, everyone after Borleas was taken back, quote unquote taken back, was setting up Wedge and everybody to take the fall so they can flee and try to find ways to negotiate for whatever peace, whatever they can out of the Vong, right? So we have Sovereign Law who's like, we're going to take back the world because it was an embarrassment that the Vong were defeated during that time. Wedge and Tilly's was like, I'm not going to have this fall. We're going to go down fighting. We're not going to fall victim to and be the sacrifice for, for the remaining council to figure out how they can buy time and eventually bend the knee to the Vong, right? And with that, the fight then commences again. And I love that clip. I wish I would have shared the clip. Now it's something I'm going to have to definitely go do. But towards the end, I think towards the end of Enemy Lines 1, or near it, one of the last chapters, I believe. But I have the scene in my head. And I know it's on the Audible, so I know I can clip it. I just got to see how much is taken out of that. But after they defeat and they leave Borleas, so they leave, they get away, they defeat, or they basically leave with their lives and stuff like that. And they're counting down. Like all the squadrons involved. And man, they have like the best of the best. Of course, it's Wedge, right? and everyone that surrounds them. And that's what really got to the Vaughn. And so the loss of Chaw's fleet basically gets to Savin Law. And during that time, he's also trying to, basically find out who is creating any the treachery from the Shapers and the priests during that time, because we have my favorite character, Vicky Shesh, who is basically bargaining for her life and manipulating her way to not get sacrificed, really. And she's like, the Shapers have betrayed you, and stuff like that. So she's planting these seeds of doubt. And it's not that she's on the New Republic side, because she will put them under the bus as well. And she has already, right? But it's just for her own life. And so she convinces Savin Law there's treachery going on with the Shapers and the priests and stuff. So again, if you haven't read these books, it's fucking amazing. And Pyrrha says, I'm on chapter 5 on Rebel Dream. Time to prep for Balance Point stream, though. Yeah, I am on book 2, but I didn't have a chance. Yes, yesterday was friggin' busy for me. And I teach a yoga modality that's called Lift and Flow. So basically it's a combination of modality of yoga, like lifting or weight training, whether you use weights or your body weight, cardio HIIT, and of course we have a core where we work on the core as well. And so it's a structured modality, and like 2 rounds is of the lower body, 2 rounds is of the upper body. And I friggin' kicked not only my students' ass, but my ass as well. I was friggin' tired last night. So I don't have a PowerPoint. And then I sat here and I was like, I need to do a PowerPoint for today. This is this morning. But then I decided to do a different type of PowerPoint that has nothing to do with New Jedi Order lore talk. So there you go. There you go. Dark Journey, 7 out of 10. Could have been an 8 or 8.5 ending. Was rushed a bit. Probably the best Kip-Duran writing in the series, of the series. Yeah, that's what I hear often is like Dark Journey, it was rushed a little, or felt rushed. And I don't think that it was even necessary, because these books, are in line with each other. Like they're a historical timeline of events. So when something's rushed towards the end inside a series, and one book is kind of rushed towards the end, I wonder why. And I just wonder why, because like I said, they're interconnected. Even though Dark Journey has been a Jaina Solo's basically solo novel in a sense, no pun intended, but yeah, it shouldn't have been rushed. And I only think that it maybe was because a deadline was being met. That's the only thing I can think of. And yes, Kip-Duran has some great character arcs that basically helps out Jaina, helps resolve what Jaina's going through. And that's all I will say. So like I said, if you have not read anything like New Jedi Order yet, do so. Do it. Okay. So basically, Purist was basically saying here earlier, this Lusankyo rises, and he's talking about, Krytos trap. I'm reading back on comments on Rebel. And here we have Lusankyo again. So again, if you don't know how much is tied into continuity and how well things are written, even looking at ships that were, used in a story series prior to New Jedi Order and seeing a callback and a use of those is still continuity connection, right? And that's what I like to talk about. That's what I like here. And so I just wanted to give back to a little bit about the Vong. I want to start talking about Rebel Stand next week. So we have the Vong. They basically met their match at Borlaeus. And I can't wait to talk to you guys about Vicky Shesh in the next book. There's something like, for me, it's like, I get so happy for her, what happens to her in a sense. I know it sounds wicked, right? It sounds wicked. But so we're going to segue into, next week is Christmas. The week after. Thank you so much, Soul Assassin. I forget, we're already fucking coming up on Christmas. Holy crap. Are you guys done shopping? Are you guys ready? What are you guys doing for your Christmas meals? What do you guys plan? What is your tradition? But the following week, when we return, we are going to go ahead and go into Rebel Stand. We're going to begin that timeline. So I will have a slide prep for that, all of that. I'm going to introduce the Vong first this time instead of like the New Republic or where everybody's at. We're going to get into the Vong because I think it's very important that we focus on these intergalactic invaders, the Yuuzhan Vong, because this is what stories are all wrapped around. What are the heroes? What are the galaxy doing to defeat these guys, to survive against their invasion, right? So we're going to get more into that. So if you haven't started reading New Jedi Order, start doing it. I wouldn't say jump all the way to enemy lines and begin there, just because I'm talking about this part of the timeline. I would experience it from the beginning and move all the way through. Again, we're not doing book reviews here. However, on Purist, we are covering the book chapter by chapter. So on Bane of the Shills, we are having our next one coming after Christmas, the Monday after Christmas. I think Purist put the date in there. I didn't put it on my calendar. I'm sorry. I will, but I am coming to continue on with the book review on that. So with that being said, so the Yuuzhan Vong, very interesting characters. Every single, as we go along in the historical timeline of the New Jedi Order, as we go along in the series of the New Jedi Order, you can see how much these authors pay attention to each other's installments. Ecrits, oh, poor Soul Assassin. And they build upon the lore of the Vong as they go along, but it doesn't hurt what came before. Doesn't hurt what came before. So we're still going to see more evolution of like new things. We're also, no, let me take that back. We are going to learn more about the Vong as the series go along. And I'm excited for that. I am. And so next, not this Christmas, but next, the following Thursday, book 2, Enemy Lines, we're going into that timeline. So there you go. And Pura says, if you don't know, the previous lore reference the New Jedi Order. It doesn't ruin the story, though. You just won't know it's there. Yeah, correct. But once you start getting into more of the EU, you're going to start finding those connections, and that's where the EU, you get rewarded. And Matt Wilkins is correct on that. It rewards the reader. It rewards the reader. All right. Yes, follow Pierce on Rumble. For whatever reason, I'm looking at his comment. Oh, it's right here. There we go. I have Rumble open on my phone, so I'm reading from the comments there. And I will type a hello. All right. So I'm reading both from here on StreamYards and on Rumble site. So there we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some of the things. These are not cringe factors, but they are basically news or something that I want to cover before we get into cringe factor. And it's 10:01, so maybe we're not going to go over 2 hours. I don't know. I don't know. But in the meantime, as we segue in, I'm going to go ahead and play this clip.
I'm telling you, this finale, it's unbelievable how tepid contemporary art seemed compared to the passionate quality of this finale. So you have this like huge, it's like romantic nature painting, apocalyptic landscape of the lava. Lucas cross-cuts the destruction of the Senate chamber, and you have the destruction of industry going on. And then, after all these horrors, it is so beautiful. I'm saying, my God, nothing in the last 30 years in any of the arts has been produced as emotionally compelling and significant as the finale of Revenge of the Sith.
All right. So, if some of you guys keep an eye on Theory, our simple Theory, whatever you want to call him, he had put out a new video about George Lucas saying what George says here is going to change how you see Star Wars. And basically that video is something we know already, that what Anakin failed to realize and see when it comes to compassion and all this stuff and his direction, Luke seen it and corrected the ways of the Jedi and the family and all this other stuff. And George Lucas talks about it in the making of Revenge of the Sith, within Rinsler's copy of that. It's what he did of that. He's the publisher or the editor of that. So, but Theory is making it sound like this is a breakthrough. However, myself and I've heard like purists and other people talk about what Anakin didn't get in general, and I'm being very like broad on this or vague on this or whatever. Luke did. So whatever Anakin failed to do and see, what have you, Luke seen it. And that goes with the redemption, compassion, all of that. And George speaks about that in that. In fact, I got to pull up my version and find the exact pages because the Dolt doesn't even quote like exactly where he gets the information from, what pages and stuff like that. If he's the one that's doing the writing and the editing for the video, which he said he doesn't do ghostwriters anymore, but I still think he does. I still think he does. But with that being said, we're going to go over this video. And this goes back to Pierce being the encyclopedia of knowledge. And I'm not saying this in a condescending way because I know his knowledge. And I know he also says he's still learning, just like me. There's things like I have weak areas. And I will admit it, it's the Old Republic games. I know the lore behind the books and stuff, but in depth, the Old Republic is something that I'm still expanding my knowledge on. And I'm perfectly fine with that. We all have our weak and strong points within our own I wouldn't say fandom, our own knowledge, right? So, but I am coined the Miss Know-It-All. But so here we go. I'm going to play this clip. This is from when Anna had yesterday, which I shared out. And then I was encouraged to listen to it while I was at work. But my work is I teach yoga and I teach 2 classes. And so I don't think my students want to listen to this in the background. So I was given directive, oh, maybe you should listen to this in the background while you work. And I'm like, I can't do that. I teach yoga. I don't think my students want to listen to that while I'm teaching the class. So anyways, thank you so much, Soul Assassin, for recommending that as well. So I wanted to share this clip because our gatekeeper, our one and only, my homeboy, Pierce, got a shout out. But then again, there's other things I want to point out in this clip. So thank you to Pierce for sharing this with us in the Gatekeepers private chat.
Is this the book to do?
I haven't read that book.
Oh, really?
No. Nope. No, there's a lot of books I haven't read.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were like an encyclopedia.
No, that's not me. That's more so Ryan. Badger. You had a guy earlier on, Purist, Justin.
Oh yeah, Justin. Yeah.
He's an encyclopedia. Trying to think who else, but yeah, those are like the main ones, really. I'm more so the first 6 films, some select EU stuff.
All right. So I'll play that video again. But first of all, I'm going to answer this right here. OG doesn't know the Old Republic. Ah, ha, ha, ha. I know it. I'm not strong in it. And there you go. So first off, and I shared this clip. It's not being played on any to where I can pause it or what have you, that video clip, because I have it on my media assets here in StreamYards. Now, first of all, Anna was talking about mall lockdown. And I'll give credit where credit's due. And this is where I question people who think Purist is the know-it-all when it comes to Star Wars. He admits he's not an encyclopedia. He admits he doesn't read the EU. So those who say, oh, well, Purist did so many EU reviews on his channel, fucking bullshit. He never read it. He used a ghostwriter and created videos. He would not be able to tell you exactly his opinion of the piece that he is talking about. If you ask him, you know, like if I was on a live with Purist, if you ask him in general, right? And Anna's face, you could see that disdain in her face when she's like, oh, I thought you were an encyclopedia. So I'm going to play that clip one more time because I think it's fucking hilarious. And he shouts out Purist. But one thing I pointed out in our private chat is that he won't have Purist on, just like he won't have Melvin on. And I know Ryan is very knowledgeable. He's like, so I give credit. But Badger, I have corrected him many, many times. So let me see here. But hey, you know, I'm Miss Know-It-All. I'm going to play it again one more time.
Is this the book to do?
I haven't read that book.
Oh, really?
No. Nope. No, there's a lot of books I haven't read.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were like an encyclopedia.
No, that's not me. That's more so Ryan. Badger. You had a guy earlier on, Purist, Justin.
Oh yeah, Justin, yeah.
He's an encyclopedia. Trying to think who else, but yeah, those are like the main ones, really. I'm more so the first 6 films, some select EU stuff.
Offer Pierce $500 to come on a theory show. $500. Yeah. So when I have countered people about theory in the past, they're like, he knows more than you because he has the bigger channel. He's got 3 million people, blah, blah, blah. The amount of people subscribe to your channel does not indicate your knowledge of Star Wars. And even Pure says, Theory says, I only know George, the 6 movies, and a select EU books. A select. He's never read the New Jedi Order because, it's so fucking boring, right? And I questioned him on Legacy era stuff too, and he hasn't read that either. Even though he has some lore videos out on it, he's never fucking read it. Be fucking authentic. If you're going to report and do reports and videos on a novel, read the novel so that you are capable of interacting with your audience. There's a level of authenticity that is required. Or if it's not there, you're fucking fake. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not fucking sorry. I'm not going to apologize for what I have to say here. He's fake. He is fake as hell. And his latest video that he produced with George Lucas talking about the difference between Anakin's psychology versus Luke's and stuff like that, he is now realizing that, but yet he is privy. He knows more than anybody else from the 6 movies. Where I have been talking about and dissecting Anakin versus Luke, where George is like, Luke is what Anakin's supposed to be. I said what he said in the video in those words. Luke is what Anakin's supposed to be, right? Everything Anakin should have known, should have realized is what Luke is. Everything Anakin was supposed to be, Luke is. So I won't apologize for anything I say here, because every time I question, talk about, what have you, like the so-called knowledgeable people, because of the size of their fucking channels, I get confirmation that they don't know shit. They don't know fucking shit. And people try to tear me down because my channel is like, I'm pressing 4,000. 4,000. Because I only have 4,000 subscribers here on YouTube and my Rumble's growing, means I don't know shit compared to someone with 3 million. That's fucking bullshit. It's just the subscribers. It's not based upon your knowledge. I am not going to feed you guys fake ass bullshit. I'm not going to pretend I know something. Just like I admitted, the Old Republic's not my strong point. I know the lore and stuff, but I don't know it entirely to like reference things off the top of my head. Like from the PT Ford. And that's fine. That's where I can grow. And that's where you'll see me like, oh, you know what, you guys, we're going to go ahead and do some CAF chats, or maybe Saturday will be Saturday Lives. Yes, I have an announcement about that. Saturday Lives, we'll talk about the Old Republic, and you guys can rediscover it with me as I discover, as I go through and, sharpen my knowledge on it. Because at the time, I never had a chance to play the games, get further into it. Now, I know games plays, like the canon story is basically what is written in the novels, but still, there's a lot of things. And I didn't really get into the comics back then for Old Republic. So there we go. Reviewing the comics. That could be something. So being excited about rediscovering Star Wars in an era that I'm not particularly strong in. And I admit it. But I will not pretend that because the size of my channel, I am more knowledgeable or less. Because that's not an indication of that. And so I feel sorry for people who really stick up for theory and say, oh, well, he's got 3 million. He knows more than you. And blah, blah. No, fucking no. He just admit he doesn't know. And he still pushes Disney Star Wars lore. He has every right to. But don't pretend that you're anti this and that by still pushing it. Be fucking authentic. He is the most fake asshole I've ever seen. Yes, I'm gonna call him that because I don't care for him. I never did. And Pierre says, I guess that's progress. So there we go. So shout out to Purist, which he won't have on. That's fucking funny. And same with Melvin too. I mean, he didn't give Melvin a shout out here, but I'm just pointing out the fucking obvious, right? And I think because these guys threaten him in a way, because Ryan will take the high road with Pierce. I've seen him counter him before, but Ryan versus Pierce are totally different people on how they will handle theory. And so you'll see that. And that's why I think, or I know, Pierce will not be invited back on. Because he questions, and Pierce or Theory does not want to be questioned. So there you go. My rant's on that. If you want to call it that. My rant. Let me see what you guys are saying. Disney, Star Wars, isn't Star Wars. Let's see here. Theory even knows who I am, and my channel is low tier. He's insecure about his knowledge. You know, and everything I posted towards Theory, everything like on his YouTube channel and on Twitter, he completely ignores. He completely ignores. And then watching Anna's expression when she's realizing that Theory doesn't know shit is hilarious. Is hilarious. Right. Matthew says, all these trash channels started up to cover the Disney Star Wars films and the comics and novels from Disney, completely worthless. It's in itself is pathetic, but then to sell Temu lightsabers. That's his whole gig. More power to him. Pierce and OG are encyclopedias. Theory is a sticker book. A sticker book. Let's see here. OG and Pierce are encyclopedias, and I'm like Dr. Seuss book. One Sith, two Sith, green saber, blue saber. You went along now. That's fucking hilarious. Oh my god. All right. And let's see here. Never apologize for preaching the truth. Hello there, Brandon. How are you doing? And let's see here. Theory doesn't even know history of the franchise. He would never have admitted that in the past he knows he got exposed. Exactly, my friend. Exactly. Let's see here. This is Cannibal. I won a Star Wars contest. It was an advanced comic book. It was about Kai Adimundi Dark Horse comic book. I got to be in Dark Horse comic book. I got Boba Fett bust. Oh wow. I think you told me that before. Congratulations to you. Look, we have a celeb here. Back when Lucasfilm was doing a lot with the fans, there was a huge interaction between Lucasfilm and the fans, which was fucking amazing. You could see that if you have any of the Insiders magazines, you could see the fan contests and stuff like that. You can mail in on quizzes and stuff like that. There's so many things. They even did that with Darth Caedus. So back when they needed to decide a Sith name for Jason Solo, they had a fan contest on naming him. And of course, I don't remember the name of the fan, so I apologize. And I wasn't prepared to talk about this, or I would pull it up because you could find it. But Darth Caedus is the winner, obviously. Obviously. The Scattered Knight, how are you doing? The only thing that frustrates me with Theory when he was saying that we can't criticize the ST for a while, then out of the blue, he is okay with it. I know. So there you go. So I thought I wanted to play that clip. Great shout out to Purist as well. Immense knowledge. I can confirm that as well. And of course, humble. He is still learning some things. Like he's reading the X-Wing series. He's never read before, but he's not going out there pretending he knows. There's a huge difference. And I respect that. And I've been enjoying listening to him talk about it when he does about the X-Wing series, because that is a phenomenal series in itself. So those who are like, oh, well, you only like Star Wars for the Jedi or the lightsabers, the Force. You know how people like try to badmouth like longtime fans for criticizing like something like Andor or whatever. I'm like, dude, you guys are fucking idiots. Why? Because there was the X-Wing series that was masterclass written by both Stackpole and Alston. It wasn't a Jedi story. Yes, there are Jedi in it, but that's not the focus. It was more about battles, about what's going on during the timeline, the liberation of Coruscant, taking it back among, going after the remaining warlords of the time. And it was well written. You, Matt Wilkins, and Ryan, and myself have forgotten more about Star Wars than Theory will ever know. Exactly. Exactly. I'm going to turn my floor heater back on. Oh, what happened here? Oh, I knocked it out. I unplugged it. Hold on, you guys. My cats, these cats are still being little assholes, jumping around everywhere and trying to knock down the computer. So I'm trying to keep myself from getting disconnected and stuff like that. All right. So there you go. There you have it. So I thought that was very revealing. And again, thank you, Purist, for sharing that with us. I'm pretty sure you'll see that. He'll probably have it clipped and stuff like that for his coming Monday shows and stuff like that. So stay tuned for more and stay tuned for what he has to say. Now, this is just what I observed and everything. I would want to hear what he thinks on all of that recent revelation of what Theory had to say to Anna, his knowledge, all of that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this. Now, this was pointed out to me again. Soul Assassin, thank you so much for being like the eyes and ears out there and sharing stuff with me. So he shared this with me. And let me go ahead and pull up something real quick. I need something here. I love scrolling. Scrolling. Where is it? I'm looking for something here before I talk about this. Where did it go? All right, here we go. All right, I found what I need to find. So we have here Outlaws Low-Key Moon. So this is the public pre-order of the Inkstones limited edition of Star Wars Outlaws Low Red Moon is now live. Only 750 will be made and all will be feature foil front and back covers. So this is basically a comic or something, or a book. Design edges and be signed by the author Mike Chen. So basically, this is the character we are comparing to AG-37 from Legacy Volume 2. Notice the difference or notice similarities? Now, good catch. Again, I didn't even see that this was something that was coming out for Outlaws. And this was brought to my attention. And as always, we always see Disney ripping off or paying homage to something from the EU, right? So I wanted to share this. Is it nitpicking? I don't care. It's my duty to compare and contrast between the two. That's what part of my channel is about, right? Lucas Gerson, AG-37 was amazing. And yeah, the Outlaws one is a straight copy of him, correct? It's my platform here. It's part of my platform. You'll read it in the description here on my channel of compare and contrast. Those who hate this will say, oh, you're nitpicking, blah, blah, blah. You know what? I'm comparing and contrasting. Who did it better? Was it better before, after, all of that? What happened to the creativity? Creating your own character. Creating a whole new something different, I guess you could say. And I'm past the point of saying, oh, it's inspiration. Because when you decide to toss the EU for creativity, creative freedom at that. For the sake of that. And then say, oh, well, we'll cherry pick what we like and not like. You're full of shit. Because when it comes to creative freedom, you're telling me, oh, well, we're going to do something completely different than what came before. Okay. I don't agree, but okay, I get it. And then to bring back characters, copy of characters, copy of covers. Oh no, I don't care. Someone was mentioning on Twitter that this right here, let me go ahead and, was in homage of what came before, because comics do that. I understand that there could be covers that are in homage or pay respect to or whatever, but not when you tell me that you're going to toss the EU for creative freedom. Not when you decide to fully bastardize Boba Fett, change him completely. Like I said, if you go back and look at every single character that came before that they brought in, they did the complete opposite to that character. And then gave those character attributes to another character. So to me, this is a mockery. Like, ha ha ha, this is what you had in the past, but now we give it to Din. Now he's the one. I don't see that as homage at all. So let's go on. So we have this. Just another piece of evidence here. Keep an eye out, you guys. Thank you, Soul Assassin, for keeping your eyes out. Like, I've been so busy, and then having a baby in the house and stuff like that kind of has me more attention, more inwardly in the home, I guess you could say, with my granddaughter. And that's not an apology. That's just reality. And I'm loving it. I'm loving this new chapter that my family has, come to. This new little addition to the family with a baby, with my son-in-law, and all that. So when I have people that keep me up to date on some stuff, when my life gets in another direction, kind of, I appreciate you guys for that. Keeping me on my toes, sharing things with me that maybe I missed. Usually I like in the past when I first started my channel, even like a year or so after, there's a lot of times I was the first to come out and share. And then I would get like people like Ryan and other people like these now bigger channels, recognizing me for bringing this to the front and center, right? And now so that hardly any people pay homage to other people for being the first to bring attention to something, right? That's something that has been fading within this huge YouTube Star Wars fandom that with these people that are on quote on our side, it's now not being done. And there are still incidences that that there is paying respect and callbacks to people, but it's few and far in between. So thank you, Soul Assassin, for keeping me on my toes and sharing this with it. Compare and contrast here. A mini compare and contrast. And I don't know much about this character that is being introduced in this Outlaws on the Disney side. But I can guarantee it's going to be like a spinoff from Legacy character here. It's become the pirate verse. I agree. I fucking agree. I do. If anybody takes and does a video after I've done this, but doesn't pay respect back to the source, I don't have respect for you, in a sense, when it comes to what you're doing. Give credit where credit is due. Give credit where credit is due. I pay the iron price everything. I won't give them money. Money. Yeah. So I wanted to share this, but now we're going to move on. So I'm going to play. Let me see. Do I want to play? No. Before I play that video, we have this to talk about. We're moving slowly into cringe factor. However, we could call this cringe still. So this is by, and I didn't open up the interview. but this is by Breitbart News. Ryan Johnson says he was hoping for Star Wars fans to hate The Last Jedi. I was hoping for that because every Star Wars movie going back to Empire and onward shook the box and rattled fans and got them angry and got them fighting and got them talking about it. And then for a lot of them, got them loving the coming around on, loving it and coming around on it eventually. And this is from Nobody Came Around to Love, the narrator. Nobody came around to love The Last Jedi eventually. So he basically said, well, no one likes your movie still. So that's funny. Narrator, nobody came around to love The Last Jedi eventually. Yeah. You basically put the nail in the coffin right there towards Ryan Johnson with The Last Jedi. Because it is true. No one did. No one does. The only ones that still remain liking The Last Jedi is the ones that liked it from the start. And they are a small group of people. But you guys, was Empire hated? No. It basically it just recently got like the sci-fi movie of all time. There's always going to be people who don't like something, but the majority likes something. So there's always going to be someone that is an outlier that doesn't like it. And the Return of the Jedi, not necessarily that the movie was hated. It's just that after they found out that George was going to use, previously was going to use Wookiees instead of Ewoks, it's when we started seeing that the hate all come down on that. But then again, these people who say, oh, they hate The Last Jedi will use it to defend against the sequel trilogy. Isn't that ironic? Isn't that weird? So he's saying he basically is admitting that he created something for people to hate because he thinks eventually it is going to be loved down the road. Now going to the PT, he's also going into PT, what you call PT hate. And that was created by the media, not by George Lucas. You can go back and I need to go back and find that one of the first articles that came out about the Phantom Menace. And that was before the movie premiered in the theaters. These journalists got to see a special premiere of it so that they can write about it, I guess, or something like that. I forget how it goes. And so they wrote this anti-PT episode 1 article, and that's where you started seeing the hate. You start seeing the hate. And then they also went in and talked about George's racist for how he depicted these characters, like the Nemoidians and Watto and stuff like that. This was media driven, and people are so influenced first by reading something versus going in and watching. And you see that predominantly here today. I want you to question me. I don't expect you to agree with me. And I've, had so many of you guys agree and disagree with me in so many different instances, I guess you can say. And that's fine. We are here to discuss and talk George Lucas era Star Wars, the news around Star Wars, modern Star Wars under Disney, all of that. And on Twitter, I've had disagreements with people that we still remain in a civil conversation or civil discord, basically with each other. The PT hate is very exaggerated and revisionist. Sure, it's there, but not even factually like the ST hate. Haha. Yes, I agree. The Shills fence riders, it's different and it's refreshing from George Lucas era. I think I read that right. And then Matthew says, All of Ryan's films are like that. He does not do sequels or franchises. What was Kathy Kennedy thinking? Then again, all those guys at ILM loved it too, and so did Filoni. Correct. All right. So I just wanted to share this. I think it's hilarious because he's still trying to confirm what his purpose was for writing the story. Instead of focusing on keeping continuity and all this other stuff with what Disney was creating for the sequel trilogy, he's like, I'm going to write a story that's going to piss people off. That's not good storytelling whatsoever. Not so good at all. Oh, you sent me the review? Let me check it out. Okay, let me check it out. All right, I'm going to share this real quick. Blah, 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 blah. Hopefully I don't have too many things going on my screen. I hate for my browser to crash because then that means I have to jump back in. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. All right, so this is from Variety back then. This was, where's the date? Where is the date on this? Why don't they show? Okay, so this is May 10th, 1999. Yeah, so this is before it came out. The most widely anticipated and heavily hyped film of modern times, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, can scarcely help being a letdown on some levels, but, oh my God, Cat, go. Oh, I think I jinxed myself. Hopefully you guys are still here and can hear me. There we go. All right. And see the screen. All right. I'm going to have to reopen it. I just jinxed myself. I just fucking jinxed myself. That is hilarious. I shouldn't have said anything. All right, let me go back to share screen. Let me pull up the article first because open up. There we go. All right, let's try it again. If not, I'll share this article down below. Or maybe even read it without sharing the screen. All right, here we go. Let's give it another try. Okay. It's still trying to upload. All right, if you guys can see it, hopefully you guys can. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. On day 1 at 2 p.m., my theater was full for episode 1. Yes, I hear that. I hear that. All right, let's see. And so it's too bad it disappoints on so many. At heart of a fanciful and fun movie for young boys, the first installment of George's 3-part prequel to the original Star Wars trilogy is always visually diverting thanks to the technical wizardry and which it creates so many imaginative creatures, spaceships, and alien worlds, but it's neither captivating nor transporting for a lack of any emotional pull, as well as sense of wonder and awe that marks the best works of sci-fi fantasy. So this is by Todd McCarthy. Nonetheless, even if the film lacks the magic it endeared it to its audience in the manner of the first series entries a generation ago, the Force will still be with the picture at the box office. So basically, yeah, so here it is, the whole article here. One of them, I know I've read before, one. Hey there, Star Wars Forge, how are you doing? I read another one from another person as well during that time. So you could see how the media set things up for the so-called PT backlash. Luke was a loser on purpose. He was able to fake heroism with a projected image of the Force astral projection, which killed him and left no trace. Yeah, but then again, when you get into the Legacy series, he can force project and not die. So that's fucking weird what happened there. All right, so with that, let me go ahead and bring this back up. Let's get into this here. Oh, let me play the video clip. So if you guys haven't seen the new video clip I did, I have to go back and correct something, but I'm going to share it, and then I'm going to correct it for next time we come live. So I'm going to play this here. So this is all about hope. Yes, I plan to. There's a couple things I need to correct in there, and then I need to add like Andor and some others. So definitely will. I also need to put Outlaws on there as well. I want to make sure I want to cover all areas, and including this right here. And then I got to make some music clips a little shorter because I did get a copyright strike here on YouTube for this clip, because I might have played one of Shadow of the Empire's scores a little longer than expected. I know there's like 15 seconds or less. So I have to go back and do some re-editing and refining the product, I guess you can say, the video, and add a little bit more on there. So on Rumble, I won't get a strike, but here on now I'll get a strike because I played the video, but I don't care. I could just demonetize this video and I'm fine. I'm fine with it. All right. So that last bit of the clip on this quote unquote New Jedi Order movie, again, reprising, or not reprising, but plagiarizing the name, so that when the New Jedi Order fans go to look up any content on a browser, you're going to get this pulled up. It's a revisionist history. That's what it is. And that goes with using characters or remaking characters look like similar characters, like I shared. And then also the covers. That's how I see that. That is what they do. and they're not trying, they are erasing what came before so that their stuff is front and center because that's their moneymaker. They don't care about the lore, they don't care about continuity, any of that. Now, on my clip I shared, it says canceled or forgotten. And I made this video way before this was shared. And I thought it was funny because the New Jedi Order Rey movie wasn't on the list for the 2026 Lucas projects, right? Lucasfilm projects. But she comes and says this. So Daisley Radiant confirms the New Jedi Order movie is still in active development, quote unquote. There's always movement, but the movement is at the right pace because the best things are worth the wait. And this is by Collider. I didn't click on it. I'm not going to read the article or anything like that. But how does she know? She's just the actress, right? Now, I wonder how much they paid her to say this, to keep the hope going. Again, that video, hope, what Pierre said and other has told me, hopium. I call it Disney is built on this hope. Hope that the movie gets shared or made so it gets in the theaters. Hope that the game makes it to the fan, right? Is finished and makes it to the fan. Hope this, hope that, hope it's good. Hope Kennedy leaves. You notice the pattern here? Because they don't know which way they're moving and going. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Which film comes out first, Blade or Rey? Remember, she said something like that the day before one writer got fired. Yeah. When I was making slides for last night, Path of Destruction stream, when I searched Caleb the Healer, Caleb Doom, whatever, aka Kanan Jarrus, and Cal Kisses came up in the search above. Yep. That's exactly what I've been pointing out too, is that this revisionist history, so that longtime fans who want to research these certain characters or certain storylines are now going to get the Disney version or the establishment of the title for a newer content under them. And so it's going to slowly not be as easily accessible. And I'm concerned about that. It's an erasure. It's an erasure. Caleb the Healer. Yeah. It's a new movie coming out. I can't really tell you exactly the dynamics of it because I can care less. But yeah, it's a new movie coming up. So there you go, ladies and gents. What is that? This is more of the hope they're trying to build this new show on. Hope it comes out. All these Disney fans are hoping this show comes out. Hoping it's not canceled. However, it was never announced for 2026 future projects. Hope. Disney Star Wars is created on hope, and it's not the hope of it's not like the positive hope that people look to. Like on the top corner of my screen, you have Luke Skywalker, the silhouette of the twin suns within his frame, and it's hope. He's the hope, right? He was the hope that of the future that was protected and stuff. But that's not the type of hope we're talking about when it comes to Disney Star Wars. So there you go. I have a feeling they're gonna go do away with the EU in the near future. You know what? I'm pretty sure. Right now, it's the money maker. However, like I said earlier in the show, when I go to Barnes and Nobles, what used to be like a whole 6 rows of content of Star Wars is now like less than 3, and it's quite sad. It's depressing in a way, I guess you can say. But hey, that's just the state we're in. I was going to read this. Sorry. They've already had 3 Rey movies, and there were absolute failures. It's like they're asking to make things worse. They're hoping. they're hoping. I'm sure there's closet Shills are optimistic, looking forward to seeing this. Yeah. And I don't think they're even closeted. And they have every right to like what they like. I'm not saying anything less on that. And I think that's it. Yeah. So I wanted to share this. So now we're going to get into our cringe factor. But first, I need to take a quick break. Let me see what can I play that's worth the time. Because I need to pour some more coffee. You guys, I'm going through my coffee here today. Let's play this.
3, 2, 1.
Everything published was king.
Good day, Star Wars fans. Long live George Lucas era of Star Wars. If you are new here, welcome, welcome. I have been watching, researching, comparing, and contrasting the original lore to Disney's Star Wars lore. I have shown disdain on a beloved title being used for a new miniseries, and that is Tales of the Jedi. Taking a very loved Old Republic story title to try to recreate a similar feeling to a different story era, hoping to appease the expanded universe fans they told aren't wanted anymore. The show has 6 episodes, mostly written by Dave Filoni. Those who don't know, he is the creator and director of The Clone Wars. The average runtime of Tales of the Jedi short stories is about 15 minutes. Not a lot of time to develop a story or character. The dialogue isn't very intriguing. Continuity is not in line with their own stories and lore. Clone Wars by Tartakovsky, which had little dialogue with a short story and plot, gave more depth and development. Thinking about how I have disagreed with the title use, why did they not pay respect to the creator of the original and true Tales of the Jedi, Tom Veitch, who passed away February of this year? No, he is not the only contributor, but is the main writer and developer of the stories. You would have thought Disney Lucasfilm would give a respectful note to the creator behind the original title they appropriated. After all, Tom Veitch and George Lucas created the Sith lore together. This brings to mind how Disney Lucasfilm praised Filoni for the Night Sisters and the Dathomirian Witches in a publication that came out on the passing of Dave Wolverton. It took people like Open Airlock Policy and myself to gain Disney Lucasfilm's attention to take notice and pay respect. Tom's passing was due to complications of COVID, leaving his daughter, Angelica Stasola, to organize a GoFundMe to help Veitch's widow, her mom, Martha, keep her home and medical care through the funeral expenses. As of now, I don't know any of the outcome. It is unclear if Disney Lucasfilm helped with any expenses. As we know, they can't honor contracts with their authors. Why would they reach out and help? This is clearly what a corporation does. There is no compassion and honor to who came before. They just want to suck the legacy dry. The titles even look the same. Don't be mistaken. The company and its lore is as disingenuous as its approach and handling of what came before. Let's hold them accountable for their actions. Rest in peace, Tom Veitch. Thank you for your contribution to the original Star Wars lore.
You want to buy some death sticks?
You don't want to sell me death sticks.
I don't want to sell you death sticks.
Eventually.
This is how
Star Wars
dies. With thunderous applause.
All right, so there you go. So this also goes in with the revisionist history. This little bit of information that I reported on a while ago about the use of the title, and then also how that title came out, was being used, but they didn't give homage to Veitch and all that, and then exactly what was going on and his passing during the time of that time. So it's basically revisionist history. So it goes along with what we're talking here, what I'm discussing. We documented. I documented it. You know, Tim and I, you know, had them made aware and had Disney Lucasfilm correct what they were doing. And so that was a big feat on our end. And but again, it never stops them from, you know, reusing titles and, you know, and characters and stuff like that, and changing how people look at these characters, how you can search them up, all of that. So again, documented here. The original 6 films and the EU. Yes, Disney Star Wars universe. Nope. Yeah. And you have rightfully so to make that decision. Just like I have the decision to talk and discuss, excuse me, what I am here doing here today. All right. So with that being said, let's get into our cringe factor. Elitist. Yes, I am. Yes, we are. So let's get into our cringe factor as we move on. And let me find the clip. Here we go.
So uncivilized.
So uncivilized. So with that being said, this goes into like everything we're talking about here today. From excruciatingly, oh wait, there we go. I don't know what that was from. Wow, that was weird. That wasn't even the article, but I think it popped up to the right one, right? All right. Let me see. Yeah, it is the right one. Let me make the screen bigger. All right. Disappointing news about Ahsoka Season 2 release date on Disney Plus. And this is by Paul Tassi, and this is Forbes. Disney is slowly lurching forward with slowly lurching. Is that what they're calling it now? Slowly lurching forward with more Star Wars content. Its first movie in years being the TV spinoff The Mandalorian and Grogu. Besides the show, however, almost the entirety of Disney Plus Star Wars shows have been on-offs, either on purpose or through cancellation. So this goes back to what I was discussing, back to my video clip that I made, right? All of this is true. And what I say, what Disney is built on hope, with that analogy, hoping things don't get canceled, delayed, or are made, and hoping that it is made good, or hoping that Kennedy is fired. So those including the Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Acolyte, and the Skeleton Crew. The exceptions are Andor, which is now over after 2 seasons, in Ahsoka, the only live-action series that has an upcoming new season, which is pretty wild. Ooh, it's pretty wild. You guys hear that? Now we have some news that Ahsoka front, and it's not amazing. Sounds like they're losing hope. The show has only just now finished filming its 2nd season. Seemingly good news. But when you look at how long it still has to go and what the gap between season is going to be, it's a bit ridiculous. Ahsoka season 1 wrapped filming in October 2022 and aired August 2023, 10 months later. So if Ahsoka season 2 wrapped up today, it will likely air around August or September 2026. August 2023 and to August 2026 is a pretty easy calculation. 3 years eventually, 3 years exactly. That's absolutely on the high end of streaming series delays, where most land between 1.5 and 2 years. So 1.5 years to 2 years from 1 year up from 1 year. The way things used to be, this is even longer than the much derided gap between seasons Wednesday on Netflix. Just absurd. Just absurd, you guys. Just absurd. So what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about these so-called delays? Are these like Ahsoka not officially making it on the 2026 lineup? It's not announced. Hey, Quentin Lassiter, how are you doing? Get ready for so-called Thrawn trilogy series. Get ready, folks. Get ready, everyone. Ahsoka news. Anyways, in other news, I toasted my bagel for breakfast this morning. Yum. What kind of spread did you put on it? I'm interested to know. So I'm not going to read the rest of this article, but I just find it funny. It's more funny than cringe. And it goes along the line of the Disney is built on hope theme or like exposure I'm doing here. And then if you haven't watched Saturday, I also gave all these baited narratives that they use to create this hope. And let me see, I'm going to go ahead and remove this. And if you guys missed that, I'm going to go ahead and bring it back up again. I just got to upload the PowerPoint that I used. So let's see here. But I want to remind you guys. So if you guys missed Saturday's stream, I am going to share the PowerPoint with you guys. It's just uploading, but I want to share just one portion of this PowerPoint, and it's the baited words, or words that are used to bait people to keep hope, get them excited and keep hope. I wanted to, bring this to light because you don't only see like the Disney fans, but you also see people that are not necessarily the Disney fans get baited in with this, because people are gullible and they know this. And so this is how they're going to advertise to get everyone excited, right? So it's processing right now. Let me see. Hopefully it shows up. And then I'll show it with you guys. I'll share it with you guys. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about all this news coming up? So this is the state of Star Wars. This is a stream I shared. Let me see where it's at for the baited hope. Okay, there we go. So these are the keywords. And this I use with a description with the fate of the Old Republic and what I use to share the words. So with this, and this is just this, and you can find these similar baited words to get you excited in any advertisement. And even it's going to be used for Ahsoka season 2, just to keep you guys excited. So spiritual successor, contemporary version, a definitive Star Wars experience built by people who helped shape that legacy, which I know Pierce has gone through and talked about this, and you probably hear it again from him about how Cassie is not that reliable to build hope upon for the legacy of the Old Republic. And then the reality is, and so they'll also share, but people ignore it. And this is just one example, not a direct sequel or a continuation, but people will completely ignore that for these baited words to get excited and think, oh, it's going to honor, it's going to do this and that and that and this. And you can dig these baited words out from any production being advertised, even if it's not for sure having a premiere date, so like Ahsoka 2 or Rey movie or whatever. You're going to find these baited words. So be on the lookout. Don't fall for that. And come up with your, and like I always say, be constructive for yourself. Discern between, or approach it with discernment, I guess you could say, is what I'm trying to say. We already know the fate of the Old Republic. Palpatine made it an empire. Yep, exactly. Exactly. You know, the Old Republic ends when the Empire rises. There you go. All right, you guys. So we're going to come to a closure here with the show. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm going to cook a late breakfast because I am starving. I didn't eat breakfast, and I'm pretty sure everybody else in the household is starving because no one cooked anything just yet. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Bacon and eggs sounds pretty good to me with some toast. All right, you guys. So we're going to close out here. Let me read a couple of these. So Double A says, I swear to God, there are people are hyping and cautiously optimistic, waiting for the game to release. Their excuse, the creator of KOTOR 2, 1 or 2 are making the game. It should be good. That's hype. Yep. That's one of the baited words that I shared, right? It's one of the baited words. So with that being said, you guys, have discernment, you know, and be vigilant, all of that. So thank you guys again. And if you are catching the replay, thank you so much for hanging in and hanging out with us here. Please let me know you were here. Share, comments below. As always, you guys, become a channel member. Support the channel. Looking forward to channel member book club book 8 of Young Jedi Knights this Sunday 6 p.m. So be there or be square, you know. And with that being said, you guys, smash the like button and have a good day, and may the Force be with you.
Another happy landing.